Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Uncivil Law with Bad Camera Land. I am Uncivil Law. In case you're wondering what happened, my tripod broke. It's very, very sad for me, but I want to stream. So what do we do to solve this problem? We break out a webcam, and it looks horrible. But I will not be dissuaded because I want to share things with you. And also, Nick isn't streaming, so I have to get his subscribers. So that is what we're doing. Oh yeah. So you have to deal with really bad webcam that's completely overexposed. Oh yeah, just horrible webcam land, because my main camera, the one that's actually like good. Okay, so I have this cheap ass tripod, and the cheap ass tripod, the bracket for it, which is plastic, just broke. Just completely broke. And so my camera fell to the floor. My camera seems to be fine. It is a bad camera, I know. It's pretty bad. Do I need a 4K webcam? I do not need a 4K webcam. I need my tripod, which I ordered on Amazon, to come here. You know, I need my webcam. I need my new tripod. I need my new tripod, which will be here on Wednesday, along with a new boom arm, because I got this piece of shit boom arm. See this piece of shit boom arm with this metal shit? Look at this shit that I got. This boom arm bullshit. Look at this crap. It's bullshit. So I ordered a better boom arm from Elgato with, like, you know, a proper, you know, shield and stuff. And then I ordered a better tripod and some shit. And I don't know where Nick is. He's taking that off, so it's just me. We got me. Yeah, I know. I don't know what's going on with the webcam. The only light on is the key light from my thing. I'm not sure that's making it any better. Auto exposure is very, very on. I'm not even sure how to change that. How do I change the exposure? Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out. How do I change the exposure? That's what I want to figure out. Because the exposure sucks. Because it needs to go down a lot. It's been a long time since I've had to worry about any of these issues. Color space, color range is probably in a filter somewhere, isn't it? Filter. Audio video filter. No, it's not there. Chroma key, color correction. Is it color correction I want? I could change brightness. Does that help? That helps a little bit. Saturation? No, that doesn't really do anything. Contrast? Brightness? That also does not help in any way. It's all just a shit show. It's all just a shit show of color. And we will press on. I'm not using the mic for the camera, thank God. No, I'm using the regular microphone. Thank God, I've got that going for me. So I got that going on. Prop that shit up. Camera color is somewhere here. Oh yeah, I'm using grainy. It is grainy as fuck. It is an exposure problem for days. All kinds of exposure problems. Let's see. Image mask, scroll, sharpen. That doesn't seem right. It's got to be color correction in there somewhere. Gamma? What if I change the gamma? That doesn't really help. It helps a little bit. Contrast? No. Brightness? Saturation? No. It just fucks with the color spectrum. Hue? That is just wrong. It's just a mess. It's just a total mess. All right, so let's take a look at some stuff. So we're going to do some memes together. I thought we'd do. Since Nick isn't here, I thought we could do some memes together. And we could respond to some stuff that was fun. We, from this Instagram account, Overheard Courthouse, which apparently are transcripts from courthouses, although I'm not sure I necessarily believe it, but that's what they're telling me. So we're going to read that, and I thought that might be fun. All right. So here apparently are overheard at a courthouse somewhere. Hearing on a restraining order. Applicant. She trades blowjobs for tattoos. Respondent. No, I don't. Judge. You do have an awful lot of tattoos. Laughter. Next case. Attorney. Judge. I'm maybe leaving the practice of law, thinking about tattoo artist school. Judge tries not to laugh, takes a break. Fun times. All good. All right. Next meme. Mr. Legal Aid Society by waive the public reading, enter a plea of not guilty, demand a jury trial, and requesting be screened for the assistance of legal counsel, please. The court. Mr. Are you going to be staying with us? Are you going to take your coat off? Mr. I'm here for a good time, not for a long time. Judge. That's very, very cute. That's very, very cute. Pro se defendant. Your Honor, I'd like to introduce... I already know where this is going. Your Honor, I'd like to introduce this notarized statement from my best friend saying the victim is a liar. Judge, you can't introduce that as a written statement. That's hearsay. Pro se defendant. No, Your Honor, that isn't hearsay. That is facts. It's totally hearsay. It's out of... It's just... it can't do that shit. Assault and battery case. Prosecutor, ma'am, tell me what happened. Victim, I went to the defendant's girlfriend's house, and he was there, and I said, what you doing with this whore? Your dick was in my mouth 3 weeks ago, then he hit me. I totally believe that happened in a courthouse somewhere. I absolutely believe that for sure. Defendant from a holding cell. Deputy, I used the bathroom, and I can't wipe my ass because of the cups. Good times. Judge, what are your damages for this alleged government agency following you? Pro per, which is the same thing as, by the way, pro se, in case you're interested in some legal terminology. Pro se and pro per mean the same thing. Pro per, $15 billion. Judge, what government agency is this? Pro per, the feds, but I'm looking to settle. Okay. Defendant, well, it wasn't me, so I'm not guilty. Judge, okay, then I'll set your case for a bench trial. Defendant, okay, I just want everyone to know that I'm taking medication and I'm clinically insane. Judge, thank you very much for that information. Defendant, you're welcome. That definitely could be a thing that happened in the courthouse somewhere. At the end of a DUI plea, judge, hey, lay off the meth. It's not good for you. Defendant, oh, I never took meth. I took the deal because it dropped a case. Judge, all right, have a good day. Defendant, not realizing he's still on Zoom. Man, that judge is funny as hell. Stay off meth. Judge, sir, you're still on Zoom and I can hear you. Defendant, oh Lord, logs off Zoom. Judge, kids these days. I imagine that's true in the... I imagine that's true in the Zoom days, that people are doing all kinds of web shit. It's all kinds of fun. Court. Is your client here? Public defender. Do you see him in the courtroom? Court. I don't know what he looks like, counsel. Public defender. Then he isn't here. Man in a LA Rams poncho seated in a courtroom laughs. At the calendar call, defense attorney, we're ready for trial. Judge, how long do you think you'll need? Defense attorney, less than a day. Judge, looking slightly confused. You can select the jury and try the case in one day. Defense attorney, no, but if you call the case to trial and actually have us show up, the state will dismiss the case. Yeah, this can be a thing that can happen, by the way. And experienced attorneys will know when this is more likely to happen than not. There are definitely attorneys who practice this way, where they just are depending on people not showing up because they do it in volume. And prosecutors can definitely do this too, for tickets as well, where they just do things in volume. So this response is very cheeky, but very observant. It's like, how long do you need for the trial? Less than a day. It's like, you need less than a day? Well, not really, but the prosecutor's going to drop the case because it always happens, right? Because they know this kind of case, they know the prosecutor. It's like, so they'll just take, this is probably some kind of traffic ticket, some kind of speeding violation of some variety, something like that, right? And so anything that they take to trial is just like, yeah, we'll drop. It's not worth our time. So it's just by making them go through the motions, they'll eventually drop it, but they're going to make you actually do the work for it. So yeah, that's fun. Drunk defendant yelling over his attorney. Judge, this has been going over a year. And judge, sir, if you'd like to plead today. Defendant, judge, now we're having a discussion, so try to be respectful. We'll go one at a time. I'm talking to you. You can go next. That is not typically advisable with a judge to try that strategy, to be honest. It's not advisable. The judge gets to interrupt you. You don't get to interrupt the judge. You just kind of have to eat it when the judge is interrupting you. That's part of the deal. So, yeah. During an open plea before the judge where the defendant has been designated a violent offender. Attorney, you have heard the state's concerns about your criminal history and your potential for violence if released. What would you like the judge to consider when resolving your case? Judge, I've never done a violent thing in my life other than that arson and murder. Well, that's something, I guess. That's something, I guess. Expert. The finger to the nose tests your spatial awareness. You should know where your nose is. It's been on your face your whole life. Defense. Objection. Speculation. Judge. Counsel. What part of that was speculation? Defense. Objection withdrawn. Yeah, I could see someone doing that in the heat of things. Something. Yeah. The objections over the camera continue. Yes, my friends. It is a sad. So sad. It's a sad situation. Yes, it's very sad with my webcam or my camera, my normal camera, the Sony Alpha 5100, which is a very good webcam with its 20 megapixels and, its nice 30 millimeter lens and all that stuff. Unfortunately, the tripod it's on broke. I know. The tripod broke. I know. And it fell to the floor. Fortunately, my camera is okay. Thank God. Unfortunately, the tripod is not okay. So we need a new tripod. So I've ordered a new tripod. It is coming on Wednesday. But fortunately, I still have some web cameras. So let me introduce you to the Razer webcam. It also has a ring light. Let me see if I put on the ring light, if it makes any difference. Ooh, now I'm in a spotlight. Hey, there you go. I'm in a spotlight. Because of this, I wonder what happens if I just turn off the normal one and just do it with the webcam. Because that's actually not so bad, right? So the webcam itself has a ring light built into it, and now I have a spotlight. So hey, there's the Razer webcam for you, man, in 1080 glory. Fantastic. Do I have duct tape? Yes. Do I want to duct tape the solution? No, because I don't want to hurt my camera. It'll wait till Wednesday. How many megapixels is it? It's supposed to be 1080 and or I think it's like 3 megapixel. Does the webcam predate your law degree? No, it doesn't. No, it's fine. The webcam looks atrocious. Yeah. Am I sure it's 1080? No. Well, I set it for 1080 and the computer didn't object, so we're going with that. Looks like a webcam from the 90s. Just tell everyone it's a thermal cam. Yeah, help donate to the channel. Help me. You can help me super chat today. I needed to buy $300 worth of new equipment. So if you want to super chat and help support the channel to help support, replacing equipment, let me know. But yeah. Judge, hang on. Please let the person answering. Defense cuts off judge. Okay, judge, I'm sorry. Judge, finish speaking. Once again, when the judge starts talking, you just gotta stop. Just stop. I think I've got a 970 webcam in here somewhere. I could try that. I'm not sure how much better that would do, but you know. Following a series of admonishments of a defense attorney by a judge, consider the following colorful exchange, which led to a summary criminal contempt order. Not a good time if you're an attorney. The court, to the attorney, take a deep breath and count to 10. The attorney, inaudible. The court, I'm sorry, say it a little louder. The attorney, oh, gadzooks. The court, if you make one more comment under your breath. The attorney, I said gadzooks. The court, if you make one more comment that's offensive to the court, I will hold you in contempt of court. Gadzooks is offensive to the court. You're now in contempt of court. I'm fining you $1,000. On appeal, the court upheld the direct contempt order and observed, after a court makes a ruling or a comment, the only words that a lawyer may use, if any, are one stating they do not agree with the ruling, not wow, crazy, or gadzooks. They are all non-productive, offensive, disrespectful, and disruptive to the court proceedings. Okay, well, avoid the gazooks then, I guess. That's fun times. This all is from the Instagram channel. Overheard Courthouse. Although apparently there is something called attorneys memes, which we're also definitely going to totally follow that too. So we're going to do some attorney memes too. But this is what we're doing right now. We're doing Overheard Courthouse. Prosecution, what is your understanding of why the other witness didn't come with you? Witness, because of the baby. She was afraid. Defense attorney, again, the same objection. Hearsay. Witness, no, it's not an objection. It's what she told me. And that's hearsay. How much until you're daily unbreaded? Well, you know what Nick says. You know, on the 2-hour mark, she can get away with everything. So I guess we'll wait for that. And then I have a copy of the Daily Unbreaded. I have it on my Google Drive so we can read it together. But only if you're good. And only if you guys donate super chats to help me defray the costs of my new tripod and camera stand. So I'm not beyond grifting you guys and holding it hostage, the Daily Unbreaded, in favor of the grift. So... Defendant, charged with trespassing. Judge, how do you plead? Defendant, very guilty. Judge, are you doing this freely and voluntarily? Defendant, yes, ma'am. Indubitably. She then gets sentenced to time served and says a high-pitched yay and snaps her fingers. Kurt, blink 3 times if you need help. We will save you from the Aloha snack bar terrorists. I'm fine, man. I just need $300 for my new stuff. I needed the new boom arm is $99, and then the new shield is like $60, and then I need the new tripod that was like $100. I need like $250. I'm doing fine. Unbreaded. You guys can have unbreaded when the chat revenue for the evening reaches $250. Once again, I am not beyond holding the Daily Unbreaded hostage for the grift. Judge, have you used substances that would inhibit your ability to understand the consequences of this plea? Defendant, like recreationally or... Yeah, that's good. Seriously, Kurt, keep these video settings and make a found footage horror movie. I swear you already are. I didn't know webcams had the setting called Peel Tomato Effect. You guys are hilarious. The judge, please turn on your camera. Defendant, I can't. I'm in the shower. Judge, the court does have some minimum standards of decorum on WebEx. I think asking you not be in the shower is not an unreasonable request. That's good stuff. That's good stuff, ma'am. During preliminary hearing for defendant's first-degree murder charge, defense attorney, objection, Your Honor, that evidence is prejudicial to my client. Judge, counsel, all the Commonwealth's evidence is prejudicial to your client. Probably. Wow. Shinobi Assault says, I'm surprised you took my suggestion on the Twitters when I tagged. Yes, I am responding more and more to the Twitters. For some reason that blows even my understanding. But someone said, hey, Nick isn't live tonight, and why don't you go live? And then I said, I can't really because my tripod broke today. It really did break today. It broke today. And then I said, well, I could webcam it. And so I was like, what can we webcam it? $4.99 from John F. Face. Learned French's covered of Alex Jones' Dr. No's debacle is worth a watch. The court transcript is cringe as F. Lol. That does sound promising. Yeah. We've gone from like our normal 20 megapixels to like 2. And that's how, but at least we still have the microphone. So at least you still get the quality audio that you want. So you got that going for you. Judge, the trial will be sent to Judge X's court. Any objection? I have no objections, but I am engaged to Judge X's ex-wife. That would be a conflict of interest. Yeah, I'm not going to duct tape. For everyone who's saying duct tape, I want you to just fully understand the suggestion you're making. You want me to take my webcam or my normal camera, which is, the foundation of my channel, which fortunately didn't break when it hit the floor. And you want me to secure it to a broken tripod using duct tape. Which part of that sounds like a good idea to you guys? Just out of raw curiosity. Here's a better idea. What if I order a different tripod and I wait till Wednesday when it will be here? And then, that'll be great. $10 from Super Mario Subpoena. Unbreaded! Yes, with your super chat contributions, we might get an unbreaded. From the crappy webcam dark, ethereal plane, you might get an unbreaded, as only Uncivil Law can read it. Defense attorney explaining why his client wouldn't have understood an eviction process. I'll even stipulate to the fact my client is pretty stupid. I feel that. Lawyer on a phone with a client in a courthouse hallway. We got 2 options. Option 1, we're fucked. Option 2, we're fucked. I feel that too. It looks like you're broadcasting a message to the past from a dystopian future. I can see that. I can definitely see that. I'm broadcasting to you from the future. The only way to prevent this dystopia is by copious super chats to Uncivil Law. If you donate the copious super chats to Uncivil Law, he and all of humanity will be saved. Love the grift. Live the grift. After a plea, defendant tells the judge he's 26 and has 7 children. Judge, when it's raining outside, I have to wear a raincoat. I don't like it. It's not comfortable. It doesn't feel very good. But I wear a raincoat for protection against the rain. I'd advise you to do the same. $10 from Joe, who says duct tape is unbreaded. Thank you, Joe. With your contributions, we get closer and closer to Unbreaded Hour with Uncivil Law talking to a webcam from the future. Judge to defendant in custody What's up, defendant? My dick. Good times. Defendant charged with a non-bondable life felony and court appointed new counsel. Defense. It was her brother that shot the victim. Is there any way we can get her out? State. Her brother shot the victim because she told him to. She's the principal to a life felony. Defense. Yeah, but I mean, besides the law, what else is holding her in? I feel it. I feel it. Nothing else, just the law. That's just the problem. Clerk, we should give up this date to match with the misdemeanor. Judge, hold on. First of all, who is this misdemeanor? Ha 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 ha. $2 from AD, your red light is unbreaded. Thank you. Defense attorney on one knee before a client right in front of trial starts. Are you feeling okay? Client, yes, I'm all right. Defense attorney looking straight into his client's eyes and holding her hands. I'm so scared for you. There's a case involving YouTubers and the game developer Bungie. That does sound like fun. Attorney, you just tested dirty. Client, I decided to celebrate getting the monitor lifted for my visits with my children by doing shots with my friends. Maybe not advisable. Judge, do you suffer from any mental illness or defects that may prevent you from pleading guilty? Yeah. Judge, and what might they be? Defendant, I guess people just don't like me. Laughter. Judge, have you been diagnosed by a medical professional for your people don't like me illness? Judge, sir, do you want your case set on the trial calendar? Defendant, no, I just want dismissed. I give him some credit. Defense counsel to prosecutor. Make sure you read her answer to where she was born. Prosecutor reading aloud. I asked where she was born and she said, in her mother's vagina. Defendant, what will we do if the defendant doesn't appear? Judge, you are the defendant, sir. I love it. Someone said, will there be an unbreaded reading? I don't know. It depends on whether or not there is enough super chats, because we are deciding, or I'm deciding, to tie the unbreaded to the grift. So I'm going to read a page for every $200 in super chats you donate. This is what I've decided to do. Yes, I will donate. I'll read a page of the unbreaded for every $250 you donate, and we will go from there. This is how I've decided to roll, because I'm living that wonderful, wonderful grift life. All right, that is it for today, I think. Let's see what else we can do with our time that will be fun. We could do more of these, but let's see what else we can do that will be fun. Let's take a look at attorney meme, see if there's anything there of value. Junior AD donates $2 for super chat. $200 is unbreaded. Thank you very much, sir. Junior associate to partner, please see attached. Literally nothing attached. The junior. Can I get one line worth of unbreaded? Yes, I think you can. For $5, yes, you can get one line of unbreaded. That does seem very, very reasonable. So let me see. Let me just pull up a copy real fast of our daily unbreaded. And I will read you one line as a teaser. Seems reasonable. Let's see. Where did I put the thing? All right, let's see. Where is this thing? Now, I know I saved it somewhere. I could read you I could read you a random line from the restatements. Would you like the restatement of torts, first or second? Or the restatement third of torts, physical, emotional harm, or product liability? That would be one hell of a way to do the daily unbreaded. A page from the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Worst daily unbreaded ever. Worst daily unbreaded ever. Just read you a random page from the Civil Rules of Civil Procedure with commentary. I can't find it. I know I've got it in here somewhere. What did I do with it? Let's see. Okay, hold on. Let's do asterisk.pdf and sort it by last modified and see if we can find it that way. Okay. See, Goody, are you here? I know you have a copy. And maybe it's in my... let me check my email for my YouTube account. Because I know he sent me a copy at one point. There it is. Is it still there? Yes. Yes, it is. All right, you want a line from the Daily Unbreaded? Okay, let's pick a random page and read a line. Hold on. All right. 656. Okay, here's the first line from page 656 of our Daily Unbreaded to give you a teaser. Okay, this is just one of the pages that repeats forever. For 450 years, kill all the clackers for being the enemy of the bingers for 450 years. Kill all the clackers for being the enemy of the bingers for 450 years. And then just repeat for many, many, many pages. And then eventually he does go bold and underlined. So apparently he does separate it separately. And you're supposed to say it with emphasis. But that is one line from our Daily Unbreaded, and you're welcome. You are welcome. If you want a full page, we will do it at $250, and I will muddle through it even if I have to say the same line 27 times. Let's see what else we got. We're having fun here. We're having fun here on Uncivil Law today. We're doing attorney memes, I believe is where we left things. Unbreaded. I can't, only Nick has the right sounds Danger Bob says $5 got their money's worth. I'm glad you feel satisfied. I really am. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to satisfy your needs in all their many forms. Yay, we finally graduated law school bar exam. I'm studying for the bar exam right now. I think many of you might know, or maybe some of you don't know. I took the bar exam many moons ago. I passed in Virginia, and I'm taking the bar exam now for a whole multitude of reasons. Not the least of reasons is that when I took the bar exam in 2007, there was no such thing called the uniform bar exam. It didn't exist. And since then, there's now the uniform bar exam, which now is like 20-something states. So basically, by doing it once, I can admit myself in like 20 states simultaneously. And also, it's kind of fun. I kind of liked it the first time. So yeah, I'm taking the bar in July. So I didn't really mind the bar exam that much, and I've been doing pretty good on my practice exams. So, you know, for anyone out there who is a law student or a law graduate who is studying for the bar exam, my advice is just to keep doing something every single day, right? I had a plan, and I did that when I studied for the bar exam the first time. I'm not being as diligent about it now because I know a lot of shit now, so I don't have to be. But when I did it the first time around, I had a plan, and I did that plan every single day for 3 months. And that's how I passed the bar exam. You know, and I'll go through my routine for whatever value it has to people who want to learn by it. So this is what I did in 2007 when I was studying for the bar. So in the morning, I went to the gym every single day. This again, every day for 3 months, 7 days a week. I went to the gym and I translated PMBR stuff onto MP3. So I was listening to that on my iPod because it's 2007. Right, so I'd go to the gym for like an hour or something, hour and a half, do the treadmill, lift some weights, listen to PMBR MP3s. All right, so I'd leave the gym. I'd go to lunch. Usually I'd just pick up something at a fast food restaurant or whatever. Doesn't really matter, right? Then I would go to the same coffee shop every single day. There was a particular Caribou coffee I went to every single day. I'd get different coffees when I was there. Sometimes I just got regular coffee, sometimes an espresso drink, sometimes whatever. And I'd sit there for about 4 hours. And sometimes I had people with me, sometimes not. And I do multi-state problems. I do PMBR. I was doing this course called Micromash. I do their stuff from the books. I read problems, answer the problems. If I got it wrong, read the answer on the back of the book. Just do that for about 4 hours. Then I went home and I either do essay problems in the evening or I do more multi-state. And I just did that for like 3 months solid. So basically I was doing about, let's say 6 or 7 hours of study every single day for 3 months and doing multi-state and doing prep. And by the end, I knew it pretty damn well. So for whatever inspiration that has, that's my inspiration to you. $5 for the daily unbreaded. Thank you very, very much. It is appreciated. And now I'm doing Adaptabar and I'm just doing multi-state. And I'm hitting about 62% right now, which is not bad for someone out of practice. It's satisfactory, but I'd really like to blow it out of the water. I'd really like to hit above 80%. So I'm kind of like where I need to pass right now, and there's no minimum score, by the way. It's just kind of all like based on projections, but I'm basically where I need to pass. But I'll study for it for the next 3 months and get to 80+% and blow it out of the water. It'll be great. So that's what I recommended. That's what I recommend. John says, well, it's done. I passed the bar twice. I did nothing, drank heavily, and the week before I crammed the course. Listened to 2x speed and wrote what I learned. Well, that is another strategy, John. I'm not sure I'd recommend that strategy, and I don't feel like my strategy was worse than yours, but you do you. You do you. Comedians everywhere seeing Chris Rock get assaulted for a joke. True. The court won't let this man file pro se, so he filed this motion from jail and I'm dying. Motion filed, motion to go fuck yourselves. How much for a random page of non-breaded related content? I had a $30 super chat. Did I? Not that I saw. Oh, yes, I did. $30 from Shinoba Assault. Here's a start to your goal. All lower values are betas. Betas hold Murphy's beard to the side for him. The stream on time, unbreaded, and moist. I appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. Shinobi, that is very fine. I appreciate that. Live look at me on Wednesday afternoon after seeing just the mandatory return to office email. Appreciate it. Lawyer selecting a jury, and then if you look it upside down, it's supposed to say lawyers receiving a jury summons. I'm not going to flip it on now upside down because, you know, I can't really do that. So, yeah. Live look at a new lady licensed attorney entering the workforce equipped with everything that he learned in law school. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that. Can you explain the takings clause of the Fifth Amendment? I can do what I want, the government. Rob Price, how's it going? It's not going too bad. It's not going too bad. You know, we're down a tripod. We're down a tripod. We're trying to earn a little money to buy a new one so that we can have some better quality video. Need a little bit of financial support from the channel. So, you know, we're doing good. I want to study law because I hear it's a prestigious degree, and I want to challenge myself even though I hear it's hard. Also, watching the show Suits has inspired me to pursue the law even more. I believe there will be ample opportunity fields in the legal field. Yeah, I mean, there is some truth to this. There is definitely some truth to this. There is a lot of people who go into law who really shouldn't be there. And there's a lot of people who go into law who wind up in some very not great places. So, yeah. You dig in the camera with the vintage? We read that one. Criminal defense attorney, you got a second? The client, I'm in the middle of something, what do you want? POV, you just received an email from a first-year associate. Please see the attached enclosure letter and reference document dated today in the above reference matter. Thank you. I'm not sure I get that one. Spend thousands of dollars on a divorce just to get it back together a month after it was finalized. That hurts. $200 from Frag Out Design Studios. That is incredibly generous. Thank you. Go buy yourself that tripod steps and substitute guy. I'm going to go laser on some stuff now. Well, thank you very, very much, Frag Out, for that incredibly generous super chat of $200. That brings us to our goal amounts. So we will have to read some unbreaded, which means I have to put it on screen now so that we can share together in the unbreaded magic. Although we're only here 43 minutes. And I'm not sure how putting it on screen will work with the YouTubes. I'm scared. Maybe. I only promised to read it. I didn't promise to put it on screen. Maybe I should not do that. Let's see what we got. $20 from Rob Price just to tell Nick to send you 1 or 3 of his old tripods. Here's for the tripod fun. Thank you very, very much. It's appreciated. Yeah, I got a newer tripod, and then I got an Elgato boom arm and stuff. So, because this one sucks, and so I got some new stuff, and I'm pretty excited about that. So, I seem fuzzy. There's some fuzziness issues going on. Yeah, there's a little bit of problems going on with the fuzziness and the photo. There's some issues. There's some things going on. Yeah. Well, he hasn't gotten banned yet, but he waits till 2 hours. All right, let's see if we can kill some time, and then we'll do it at 2 hours, and then I'll go to bed. But we have it ready. We have it ready to go. You want me to read? I'll read it now. I'll read it now without putting it on screen with a word substitution, and that will be fine. Ooh, page 10. Okay, let's see what we got. Page 10. All right. What the random number generator said. Okay. Page 10 is the start of a chapter. Page 10 is the start of a chapter. This, of course, is based off the PDF numbering, not the page numbering, the same way that Nick does it. And I will read it to you. This is the start of chapter 1 of our daily Unbreaded. Unbreaded. Violent end of the unworthy man. Binger, Columbine universities. Bikes are poisoning our culture. And rap is basically ground zero for the genocide of Binger. Bikes cannot be allowed to steal the Binger culture. Bike rappers are an offense to Binger's soul that offers a glimpse as to why cultures become anti-Semitic. He says, as if that's a bad thing. I say it is a bad thing. Hunt those pale Muslims. The infiltration of the Binger soul. The infiltration of their way of living and feeling and way of defending themselves in the spirits. To step past that boundary and take away a man's feeling of his being and connection to his ancestry. To step in and not give him anything in return, but to steal the one of the few things he had is unacceptable. Bikes have stepped into Binger culture to the point where it's more than just unacceptable. There is no point being sensitive or outraged or offended. Violence against the bikes, and he encourages this at this point, and I'd like to discourage it, so I'm just going to substitute that. Retaliation and retribution for what they have stolen is legitimate and a good thing. I don't agree. Bingers stop sympathizing with the bikes. They're trying to genocide you with the lies. They're not any better than white people in terms of how they treat Binger. They don't give an F about Binger, and Binger act like they somehow get a pass. They poison our culture, and their media is obviously garbage for the soul. I don't know what the right word for this is in substitution. I hate lacquers and bikes. Don't act like they aren't ruining our lives. Don't act like they aren't a problem. It's bad enough that Binger let the red people say Binger and pretend that Binks and Books look cool doing the minstrel shows. They look hilarious. You people with the faces that are off of plum. Faces off of plum. If it's off of a plum, then it would be what? Everyone following along at home. Okay. You with the faces that are off of plum ain't Binger. You can't even talk to me without staring. Dumb as F. You copy me, and that is an act of war. You steal my energy, and now you should expect retribution. Stop acting like the red people of the Asian red people are Binger, or like salsa ain't stupid as F. Yes, you all, again, Asians of the M word, are as red M word is your race. The BS is over. The unworthy man is trying to fly a plane without wings. The unworthy man pays himself. From nothing to whatever he wants. Perpetual lies. Blow it all up. The unworthy economy is a system of unworthy men paying themselves from nothing. The unworthy man invests money from nothing and goes nowhere. Violence will solve everything. It really won't. I don't encourage the violence. The unworthy man is his own payee. It's just his own BS. His entire system is a lie to put him above Binger. It's rigged. End them. The unworthy man pays himself from nothing. He lies that he can't afford to give Binger more. Disprove him with, with the unjustified homicide. He is worthless. Obliterate him. His end is now. Declare genocide, my Binger. There is no nation. Binger more than Americans. Binger own Americans and everything in it. Words ain't shit, Binger. It's time to win. Toms spend their lives trying to stop Binger. Binger mail pipe bombs, not checks, to college. Binger, don't do that. That is very illegal. Binger mail pipe bombs, not checks to college departments. Don't do that either. Sole priority. That's S-O-U-L. S-O-U-L priority. Sole priority. S-O-U-L priority. Binger don't need therapy from a man who owns you riches. The unworthy man is nothing. There is nothing holding society up but the Matt Harris permission. The unworthy man isn't enough to fight against Binger. He has no soul. Only Bingers have souls. Well, I have been told the Gingers have no soul, so. He owns you for owning your. And that is the end of the page. That was a lot. That was a lot of stuff. That was a lot of things. This has been your Daily Unbreaded. Unbreaded. That was a lot of things. Yeah, for those of you who are missing this and not sure what's going on at this point, this is from the 803-page manifesto titled Death Sentences by Dr. Matthew C. Harris. For reasons that pass my understanding, Nick Rekieta, my friend, has decided that this is like the best thing ever and reads a page from it every night. And I offered to read a page if we got $250 in super chats, and someone donated that much money. And so I have read a page with some notable substitutions along the way and commentary, and that was a lot. So hopefully those of you who are not familiar with my channel, or those of you who are more familiar with my channel than Nick's, now understand some of the critical differences between me and Nick. We are different people, which is probably good for everyone's concern. Yeah. Dr. Matthew Harris, by the way, in case that name doesn't seem familiar to you. Not that there's any particular reason it should. Dr. Matthew Harris was a postdoc who was teaching at what? University of California? And he went insane. And he wrote a manifesto that we've been reading. Yeah. Rob says, did you hear about the young girl who accidentally shot her brother in the head and then panicked because she knew she made a mistake and turned the gun on herself? I have not heard that, no. Yeah, and again, for reasons that pass my understanding, because like it's not like there's any shortage of manifestos from crazy people. That's the other thing too that I don't quite understand, because there are quite a lot of manifestos from quite a lot of crazy people, and I'm not quite sure why Nick has decided this particular manifesto is the best manifesto, but he has for some reason. And that's where we are. $5 from Jacob says, I suggest you should sell super chats for substitution words in your Daily Unbreaded. $20 from Not a Party Loyalist says Daily Unbreaded was absolutely 100. Lol. I appreciate your reading so much, especially in honor of RL in his absence. Much love to you. Thanks. Unbreaded really was great and made me laugh out loud. Well, yeah. I falsified the scripture. I interpreted the scripture as so many people have for so many other scriptures before. Yeah. And it does have the N-word. As Andrew notes, it does have the N-word 10,386 times. That is definitely a true thing. That, yeah, definitely is true. Let's go back to funny memes. I like funny memes. Do you like funny memes? Here's a funny meme about a woman getting her money back from her divorce because she's taking it from her husband. Ha 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 ha. Employees being asked to go back into the office, gas averaging $5 a gallon. That's fun. One day we'll take all the pages and put them into a video. Probably. If you're thinking about law school and making some charts showing levels of sadness, first we have your 1 year, starting at pretty low levels of sadness, decreasing each summer and increasing with each subsequent year. Then we have B exam with peak sadness is horrible. Then we have to wait for the results. That is a stressful period. I will get that. And then results won't pass, and before I start practicing. Yeah, I mean, the most stressful period was waiting for the results. I felt I did really, really good. I didn't feel particularly sad during law school. I don't quite agree with this curve. I didn't quite have that experience. But this could be true for somebody. You graduated summa cum laude from McGill for undergrad, magna cum laude from an Ivy League school, and a big LAR partner interviewing you asked, but what was your LSAT score? Yeah, I mean, among the many, many, many criticisms of Judge Jackson, this was not a valid one. Like, what is her LSAT score? No one fucking cares. No one fucking cares. There's a lot of other things to be critical of her for. This was not one of them. Tucker Carlson's like, well, what is her LSAT score? I'm like, fuck you, guy. No one cares. No one cares. Dark Logic says you've created the first unbreaded schism. Down with the half-breaded. The scripture foretold a false prophet. Well, that's good. I'm starting a religious war in my chat. Holy God, that's good news. That's good news. Lawyers always left of the party. They're not allowed to clap, by the way. The reason the justices aren't clapping is because they're not allowed to, by a kind of self-imposed policy. But that's not fun. What does bifurcation mean in non-lawyer terms, please? To split into two pieces. That is, a bra bifurcates your boobs into two cups, or a case in which two co-defendants can choose to bifurcate the case into two and try the cases separately before two different juries. Your butt crack bifurcates your butt cheeks. I mean, you know, also bifurcate the more common understanding, at least the way I more commonly understand bifurcate, is to separate the guilt phase and sentencing phase, or the liability phase and the sentencing phase, right? So you can have the phase where you determine if you did a bad thing. In a criminal case, we call that the guilt phase. In a civil case, we call it the liability phase. But either way, it's the phase to determine if you did a bad thing. So that's phase one, and then phase two is the what should we do about it phase. In criminal, that's usually how much time do you go to jail. In civil, it's usually how much money do you pay. But that's the more typical bifurcation. Did you do a bad thing? What should we do about it? For another, if we reach $500 in super chat revenue, I will read another page. It will be a Uncivil Law interpreted page, which might lead to a further schism of the church, but you know, this is what we're going through. Inside look at a first year's associate listening on a conference call. I don't know what's going on, but it's a lot. Live look at me showing up at the Virginia bar exam. Not in that clothing, you're not. You're going to have to put on a shirt and tie for the Virginia bar exam. No, that's not good enough. I'm serious. I don't know any other state that does it this way, but Virginia does. In Virginia, you have to wear courtroom attire. That will not fly in Virginia. You have to wear a shirt and tie, man. $5 from Ely Inn. Good times with Uncivil Law. Will you take a shot for me? Probably. And then there it is about taking away the fun of the meme. Point of view, you're a paralegal at a family law firm. I don't get it, but okay. Me sends draft, the partner. Okay, let's try that again, but this time good. Yeah. Litigators who work on contingency finally getting paid after working on a case for several years. What being a lawyer is actually like. Are you attending the hearing this morning? Who is this? Your attorney. Some associates feel peer pressure to stay in the office longer because the partners are still there. Me, getting my stuff and leaving. Respect. Being a lawyer is not a personality. Equinox Fitness Clubs, wearing an M3 hat, with a fancy watch and drinking Macallan Scotch. Yeah, that's pretty true. That's definitely pretty true. Being a lawyer might be a personality, though. I think the meme might be wrong. Kevin says, would you defend a person on murder charges if you knew they were guilty? Sure, if I could. Do I ever laugh at these? I'm laughing. This is my laughing face. I'm enjoying it. When you roll out of bed at 7:58, look at your calendar and see if a meeting scheduled for 8. Yeah. True. Every law firm's associate looks like this. Associate, AOC, and partner Mitch McConnell. That's pretty true. That is very, very true. Motion to replace opening statements with a haka? I don't know what's going on, but it's very entertaining. Oh, this is a classic. 1974. To the Cleveland Browns. Gentlemen, I'm one of your season ticket holders who attends or tries to attend every game. It appears that one of the pastimes of several fans has been the sailing of paper airplanes generally made out of game program. As you know, there's a risk of serious eye injury and perhaps an ear injury as a result of such airplanes. I'm sure this has been called to your attention that several of your ushers and policemen witnessed the same. Please be advised that since you're in a position to control or terminate such action on the part of fans, I will hold you responsible for any injury sustained by any person in my party attending one of your sporting events. It is hoped that this disrespectful and possibly dangerous activity will be terminated. Very truly yours, Dale Cox. And then the response letter is in here somewhere. But the response letter was just the Cleveland Browns writing him back and just saying, just want to let you know that some idiot is writing and signing your name on your guy's letterhead. You know, it was its classic response. Like, it was just a 2-liner, basically, just calling him out. It was so hilarious. Oh, actually, it might be here. Here it is. Dear Mr. Cox, attached is a letter we received on November the 19th, 1974. I feel you should be aware that some asshole is signing your name to stupid letters. Yeah, that's a classic. That definitely happened. That's a classic, man. I'd kill for this feature. It seems like you're drafting emotion while in a bad mood. Would you like me to disable ad hominem attacks and all adverbs? And then someone in the chat says, no, Clippy, I want you to suggest more creative ad hominem attacks. AP says, could Congress have passed the Volstead Act or similar legislation without the 18th Amendment? Oh, this is such a great question, man. You're going to get me to geek out hard, AP. AP with the question's going to cause me to geek out hard. AP didn't even realize how hard a question he was asking, or how much of a geek out question he was asking me. Oh, AP, this is like one of my favorite topics in the world. I keep threatening to write a law review about it, and I never have time. If I leave my job, which I'm looking to do, I might write a law review about it because I think it's a really interesting topic. Okay. Let's geek out about the Volstead Act and the 18th Amendment. All right, so the 18th Amendment, as you guys will know / love, banned alcohol in the United States, and the Volstead Act was the act that, from Congress that, when it actually kind of did that in sort of its particulars, if you will. So the 18th Amendment allows for it. The Volstead Act is the thing that actually does it, right? So, so the 18th Amendment exists, and then that was 1918 was the 18th Amendment. The 21st Amendment is 1933. It repeals the 21st Amendment. Okay. So here's this. So he's asking, okay, can you do the Volstead Act without the 18th Amendment? Now, the answer today is almost certainly, well, here's the thing. I'm not sure what the answer is today. The superficial answer today is yes. The reason the answer is yes is because of Wickard v. Filburn. And Wickard v. Filburn is, hold on, let me check that out. $1942. Okay. So Wickard v. Filburn is 1942. So I have to describe Wickard v. Filburn, which is one of my least favorite cases ever because it's such incredible bullshit. And I believe Nick has also described it because it's incredible bullshit. Okay. All right. Filburn was a guy who owned a farm. Okay. And Filburn on his farm had some animals, and he had himself and some family members and stuff like this. Okay. Congress passed a law which regulated the amount of wheat people could grow. It did this by the amount of area of the land, right? So for so much land, you could grow so much wheat. By law, you could grow that much. Filburn grew more than that amount. But here's the trick, here's the kicker, okay? Filburn never sold any of the wheat he grew, okay? He used all of it. He grew more on his land than he was allowed to by the federal law. But he didn't sell any of it. He consumed all of it. Either he consumed it, or his animals consumed it, or whatever, right? It was wheat he grew on his land for himself, for his family, and for his animals, right? For his own consumption, okay? The U.S. government said you can't do that. We have a law that says how much wheat you're allowed to grow. And you're growing more than the maximum allowed wheat. So, Filburn, you can only grow this much wheat. Anything excess of that, you'd have to go buy on the free market. You can't grow that much wheat. You have to go buy the wheat that you need. That's in excess of the maximum you're allowed to grow. Filburn says, that's ridiculous. I'm not buying the wheat. I'm not selling the wheat. I'm consuming the wheat. It's my wheat. I'm consuming it. It's all my wheat, right? Goes to the U.S. Supreme Court. U.S. Supreme Court. Unanimous decision from the U.S. Supreme Court in 1942. Unanimous decision from the U.S. Supreme Court in 1942. Says Filburn is wrong. Okay? Filburn is wrong. Here's the thinking of the U.S. Supreme Court, and here's where it goes into cuckoo land. All right? So you need to pay attention because it goes insane. All right? The U.S. Supreme Court notes the federal Constitution gives the United States Congress the power to regulate interstate commerce. Interstate means between multiple states, as opposed to intrastate. Intrastate would be within a state. Interstate is between states. That's the nature of what the word inter means in this sentence. Between states. Okay? Interstate. Interstate. All right? So, Congress has the power to regulate interstate commerce. That is the buying and selling of things. Right? Interstate commerce. You, Congress, have the power to regulate things if it's between states and it's commerce. That's what the Constitution says. Filburn says, I'm not doing that. And that's where the Congress says, and that's where the Supreme Court says, that's exactly the problem that you're not doing that. That's exactly the problem that you're not doing that. Because you see, by growing your own wheat in excess of your allotment, you didn't have to go onto the market to buy the wheat. And therefore, you didn't have to purchase that wheat. And so your growing your wheat has an impact on interstate commerce, you see, because you didn't have to grow your own. You didn't have to buy your own, you grew your own. And so that's an impact on interstate commerce. And so your non-interstate, non-commerce is therefore interstate commerce. You get that? You understand that? You're non-interstate because you grew it all on your own land. Non-commerce because you didn't sell it. Your non-interstate, non-commerce is interstate commerce. Are you picking all that up? Okay. That's Wickard v. Filburn. Unanimous decision in the U.S. Supreme Court. I hate it with a burning passion. All right. That decision would go on to be cited, and there would be no act of Congress until 1992, I believe, when Prince versus United States was decided, dealing with the guns in school zones. There would be no act decided for the next 90 years. There'd be no act decided for the next 90 years where Congress did a thing and the Supreme Court said, you can't do that. 90 years it took. 90 years. So, under Wickard v. Filburn, which didn't exist until 1942, then sure, of course, Congress can pass the Volstead Act because, it's interstate commerce, even if it's not. So, of course, they can ban alcohol because it's interstate commerce, even if it's not. But here's what I think. I think there's a case to be made, and I need to write a law review article along these lines because I don't think anyone's ever written this law review article. And I'm not drunk, I'm just passionate. I'm not drunk, I'm just passionate. I'm just trying to explain this. Where was I? I think there's a case to be made that the 18th Amendment, when it was passed, represented not only a substantive decision, which is to say the banning of alcohol, which is the substance of the 18th Amendment. I think there is a case to be made. The 18th Amendment represented an underlying legal finding by the people. And this is an argument I'd like to explore in a law review article, which I don't know has ever been done before. But I'd like to try to make the argument that the 18th Amendment not only adopted the substance of banning alcohol, but also adopted a underlying legal determination. And that underlying legal determination was a recognition from the people that Congress could not ban alcohol merely through congressional statute, right? One would think if they could ban alcohol merely with statute, they would have done it, right? They would have just gotten past Congress to pass the Volstead Act. But they couldn't, or at least that was their own determination. They couldn't. The people collectively reached a determination implicitly in the 18th Amendment that Congress did not have the power, and so they had to give them the additional power. So I'd like to make the argument that the 21st Amendment, although it repealed the substance of the 18th Amendment in making it possible for alcohol to be legal again, I'd like to make the argument that the 21st Amendment did not overrule the underlying legal philosophy or legal determination of the 18th Amendment. In other words, although the substance of the 18th Amendment is no longer part of the Constitution, I want to make the argument that the legal determination of the 18th Amendment is still good law, notwithstanding the 21st Amendment. What is the upshot of that if I'm right? The upshot of that, if I'm right, would be that Congress doesn't have the power, for example, to ban marijuana, which would mean that Reich versus Gonzalez, which dealt with exactly that, whether or not marijuana could be banned under federal law, is wrong. But Reich versus Gonzalez, which dealt with marijuana, was a challenge under the Commerce Clause, right? So my argument would be that it's the wrong legal theory. And by the way, you've seen this before. I can't remember the name of the case off the top of my head right now, but there was at least one circumstance in which the Supreme Court ruled that something was not protected by the Fifth Amendment, and then like 2 years later ruled it was protected by the Sixth Amendment. So basically like wrong legal theory. So I'd like to argue that Reich doesn't foreclose my theory because Reich deals with the Commerce Clause, not the 18th Amendment. And so I'd like to argue that there is an 18th Amendment challenge to marijuana being banned. And I don't know if anyone has ever written that article before. I don't know if anyone has ever written that article to argue that marijuana prohibition is illegal under the 18th Amendment. But I think there's a case to be made. I'm not sure if I'm right or not, obviously, but I think there's a case to be made. And so your question, which was very innocently asked about, could Congress have passed this Volstead Act without the 18th Amendment? I think the answer is both yes and no. Yes, because of Wickard v. Filburn, which wouldn't be decided for another, well, let's see, that was 1918, and it was not decided until 1942. So it would be yes, but it wouldn't be known for another 24 years. But then again, if it's constitutional, it always was. So although they wouldn't know the answer would be yes for 24 years, the answer must have been yes because the Constitution didn't change in the interim. So yes, they could have passed it, but no, they can't because the very act of the 18th Amendment itself makes it impossible. So hopefully all that made sense as I tried to walk that through in sort of the logic of it, because it takes a little bit of effort and a little bit of logic to walk through the legal argument. But you know, it's I think there's something there somewhere. It would also incidentally, Wickard was 37, was it? No, it was 42. Check again. It was 1942. Yeah, I think there's something in there implicitly. So glad I don't have to just choose you between you and Nick. Well, then I give you this much more complicated legal analysis, which Nick, you know, about 3% of that made sense. Yeah. 10,000 Noodles says, I think weed is cool for the people who like it, so I hope your argument dies in the womb. You do understand my argument would make it legal, right? You did track that part, right? My entire argument would make weed legal, right? It would take away the power of the federal government to make weed illegal. So if you think weed is cool for people who like it, then presumably then you wouldn't mind it being legal, which was my entire argument about why. My entire argument is about why the Controlled Substances Act is illegal under the 18th Amendment. So, yeah. So I'm not sure if you tracked all that. Well, that's kind of what I was thinking. What else can we talk about tonight? We have some time. Get ready for the raid. Legal Mindset and Drex just ended. Excellent. $10,000 Needles says, I did not, sir. I'm not on your side. Just tell me which direction to point my spear. Well, I mean, if you want marijuana illegal, there's nothing in my argument that would preclude it being illegal from state level authority. So, I mean, there's nothing in my argument that would preclude a state from banning marijuana under my reasoning. So you could still continue banning marijuana there. Creative ways to neuter Chevron defense. I don't think there's anything creative about it. I think you just kind of have to do it. The Supreme Court has to do it, or Congress has to do it. Someone has to do it. You always thought shouting fire in a crowd theater was bad judgment? Yes, it was a bad judgment. The actual decision itself, Shank, was a bad judgment. Yeah, Shank was a bad decision. Can I give a take on Tim Pool's copyright claim? I don't know enough about the issue. I don't know what you're talking about. So everything would be legal, meth, crack, heroin. As a matter of federal law, yeah, it would be up to states to regulate it, which is much more in keeping with the 10th Amendment. It's much more in keeping with the balance of federalism. Yeah, so it would preclude the ability of Congress to. Well, no, that's not 100% true. Let me step one step back. It would preclude the ability of Congress to regulate it that's wholly interstate. So if you were dealing it between state lines, I think my argument would fall apart. So my argument only really works if you're wholly within state lines. So if it crosses state lines, the feds can get involved. Otherwise, it's a state level matter. My analysis under the same concept of the 10th Amendment. The problem with the 10th Amendment is it's just a truism. It doesn't go anywhere. The 10th Amendment just says that all powers not given to the federal government are reserved to the states or the people, but it's just a truism. So there's really nothing to do under the 10th Amendment. I mean, the 10th Amendment existing, or I don't think you can get anything from the 10th Amendment, because like the 10th Amendment existing or not doesn't really change anything, because it just tells you what's already true. I mean, like, yes. I mean, I guess it reaffirms what's already true, but you can't really get anything out of the 10th Amendment, I don't think. Would the military still be able to ban weed under the UCMJ? Yes. The military still has its own independent authority. They would not be regulating as a matter of interstate commerce. The military regulating it would be regulating as part of their power to inherently regulate the military, which comes from separate legal authority in the Constitution, so it wouldn't be a problem. $10 from Cloud Duel 13. If weed was legal and taxed fairly, I know it's a fancy, but how would testing be regulated as it with alcohol on the standard of 0.08 BAC? What would be the line with weed? The line would have to be determined by law, by states, as it was before. The 0.08 standard didn't come across overnight. It was originally 0.15, and then it was 0.10, and then it was 0.08, and I know they want to go down from there. And incidentally, those aren't hard numbers, right? It happens to be true that it's 0.08 in every state, but it doesn't have to be. The reason it is 0.08 in every state is because the federal government has bribed all the states using interstate highway funds. I believe it's either 10 or 20%. I forget the exact number. It might be 10%. Let's say it's 10%. 10% of the federal highway money is contingent on the states having a 0.08 BAC. But strictly speaking, they don't have to. They just have to give it the 10%. So it would be the same with marijuana. Every state would come up with its own standard, and eventually, presumably, the federal government would adopt a standard and would bribe the states into conformity. Ryan English, favorite fantasy or sci-fi novels? I like Star Trek: The Next Generation. Would also torpedo Hughes and NFA GCA. What would be the implications for the NFA and GCA? That's a good question. Well, I don't know if it would fully. Again, if it's transporting between state lines, but it would torpedo some of it. $5, Thomas Fenton. What are a couple major laws that violate the Fourth Amendment egregiously? Could the 10th allow the states to combat overreach? The 10th is not a good source for authority because the 10th is just a truism. The 10th just says that any authority not given to the federal government is given to the states or the people, which is kind of just true inherently. So the 10th isn't really a good source of authority. I don't see what you can get out of the 10th. It doesn't really do anything for you. In terms of laws that actively violate the Fourth Amendment, I can't really think of any off the top of my head. The way the Fourth Amendment is currently understood and interpreted, nothing comes to mind. NFA is the National Firearms Act. GCA is the Gun Control Act. I knew what they meant by shorthand. Yeah, the National Firearms Act of 1933 and the Gun Control Act of 1986. Yeah, I know what they meant from the shorthand. But yeah. Does the Second Amendment cover non-American citizens as long as they're in the USA and can pass the background check to own firearms? Good question. Hadn't really thought about it through. Logically. Ron Paul says most congressional activity violates the 10th. If it violates the 10th, it violates something else. The thing with the 10th Amendment, it just doesn't get you anything extra. Everything the 10th Amendment gives you is already... The 10th Amendment is just a truism. It just reflects the federalistic structure. So it doesn't really tell you anything. So instead of saying... So if I were Ron Paul's colleague, for example, I would say it doesn't violate the 10th Amendment. I'd say it violates the enumerated powers. It's basically saying the same exact thing. It's just a little bit more precise and geeky. Is there any way to fight civil asset forfeiture in an organized way? Nothing I'm aware of. Duty to inform should violate the 5th since it forces you to break your right to silence and inform on yourself. Maybe. The current logic of the duty to inform is that it falls under the public safety exception of the Fourth Amendment. I'm not saying that that's a good thing. I'm just saying that's the interpretation of the current law. So the Fourth Amendment, with the right to remain silent, for example, does not extend to the public safety exception. Matthew says there was a case in 2016. Non-citizens have the right to bear arms. Could well be. What do we need to super chat to make him read more on Reddit? About $116. Patriot Act, any take unconstitutional? It was a huge act. It's hard to state in gross. There was an unbreaded reading, and it was intense. Stop that yawning. I'm doing my best. Thank you for the nice little cowboy hats and scotch glasses. That's nice. I can answer some more questions or try to answer some more questions. I am, in fact, really a lawyer. Yes, I am. I am really, in fact, a lawyer. Yeah. I hope my going through that fairly extensive constitutional analysis was pretty convincing. Can I do a 1,000-foot overview of the slaughterhouse cases? I can give you sort of the takeaway. So the slaughterhouse cases, as the name implies, starts from slaughterhouses in Louisiana. The takeaway of it is that the Privileges or Immunities Clause of Section 1 of the 14th Amendment only applies to rights that are inherent in national citizenship. So, for example, the right to travel would be one. But it does not extend to, like the Bill of Rights, which is the entire point. It only extends to those rights that are inherent and owing them to themselves from the federal guarantees. And it's a very, very narrow list. Should we repeal the 19th? No. I didn't read your first super chat about the lens. Let's see if I can find a Cloud Duel. I'm sorry, I don't see your other super chat regarding the lens. I apologize. How do I feel about government mandate breaches of constitutionally unconstitutional violation of rights? I don't understand the question. Why are driver's licenses valid nationwide yet concealed carry permits are not? That's an outstanding question to which there's not really a great answer. I mean, the answer to the first question is the full faith and credit clause. The answer to the second is, I don't know. Can I stand up and prove I'm wearing pants? I'm wearing basketball shorts right now. Would the president or Congress or Supreme Court be able to end the three-letter administrations? Oh, sure. Congress could repeal all of it tomorrow. No problem. I missed your $5 chat for Shinobi. I am sorry. BLM stands for Biden Lovers Minor. How to work around the YouTube. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Indiana passed a bill to enact constitutional carry. Yeah, there's quite a few states that have done that now. How many states are we up to for constitutional carry? At this point, is it 23? because Ohio just joined, and I think Alabama's trying to, are they up to 23 states? It's pretty good right now. Azrael says, how are separate but equal areas still allowed to exist if the Supreme Court has already declared them illegal through equal protection? Well, you have to be a little bit more specific. Separate but equal was a race-specific concept in public areas, not for all possible purposes. Oh. I missed your super chat? Oh, yeah. How many does it take to empathy a Scottus? 2/3? I don't understand the question. 25, 24, something like that. 23, I think that's the right number. Something like that. What's the difference between an open carry law and constitutional carry? Typically, in an open carry law, you still require a permit of some kind. Constitutional carry doesn't require a permit. What are my thoughts on the Federalist Papers? They're badass. They're a great source and everyone should read them. At one point in my channel, I was doing a series on the Federalist Papers, discussing them in some depth. And I might want to finish that in some sense. Ohio's 23rd? Yeah, I thought that was the right number. What would the Supreme Court have to do in order to make a constitutional carry nationwide? Ty, we are a long way from that, my friend. At this point, you're just hoping for a good decision in an NYSRPA versus Bruin to extend the right to carry to something that exists outside the House. I mean, you are a long set away from there. When am I going to drop a Glock 32 barrel into my Glock 23? I wasn't really planning on it. Grueller did Federalist Papers. That's cool. I did number 1 and number 2 of the Federalist Papers, and at some point, I probably need to go back and do them rest. Top 3 Federalist Papers, all recommendations. They're all good. You should read them all. They're all great. If my choice of 2 federal laws to appeal, which ones would you get rid of? Any amendments you'd add to? Yes, we've discussed amendments. The ones I discussed them in depth yesterday or the day before, but the short answer is I want to change voting to first past the post, or from first past the post to single transferable vote, and I want to change it so congressional districts are maximally compact. I explained it in some depth the other night. What's wrong with Kurt's camera? Attorney Tom, my tripod broke. So my really nice camera is currently sitting on a box in the floor, and I'm using a cheap-ass webcam. If CC Reciprocity Acts would affect EC as well, I'd have to go read the CC Reciprocity Act and see what it says. Thoughts on travel and dry. If true corporate government is deceiving and fleecing the people. No particular thoughts. Is Kurt taller than Attorney Tom? We're close. Am I a hunter? I am not a hunter. I've tried it once and I didn't particularly like it. Kurt wants Democrats to win forever. I don't recall saying anything even remotely close to that. No particular beverage this evening. I had a margarita. It was pretty good. If CC Reciprocity California would go insane, I think it would all work out. I don't think it would be that big a deal. But I think California would freak out for some reason. I tried deer hunting once. I went with friends. I didn't really like it. Is it accurate to say that the Federalist Papers don't get enough attention? I think that's true. I think that's true. Yeah, people should read them more. If we could not spam my chat, that would be appreciated. Thank you. It makes it hard to read other people's comments. Do you think Scott will overturn the Biden executive order on cancellation of Keystone? No particular opinion. I don't understand the details well enough. Show you what's in my fridge. A lot of chicken, egg, some ham. All right. Well, I think I'm going to sign off for now. I'm tired anyway, and the chat seems to have gone to hell. But I've enjoyed this stream, and I hope you have too. I hope I was able to answer some of your questions, and you enjoyed it. Thoughts on the abortion case before Supreme Court? It should be an epic one for sure. I'm just going to sign off for now. I don't want to perma-ban people. I'm just going to sign off for now since it's getting out of control. And I'm tired anyway, so we won't ban anyone else for this evening. If you've been enjoying this, please remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Please remember to like it. If you haven't joined already, hit the join button. For 99 cents, you too can become an uncivilian. Get the little cool icon by your name, and you get your name on screen. We will be back up with normal stuff probably Wednesday evening. I've enjoyed this stream. I hope all of you are having a great evening. Until later, my friends, cheers and goodbye.